Welcome to the Business of Being You podcast, a podcast about authenticity and the different ways people choose to be authentic. My name is Marco Benitez, also known as Coach Marco B, and I'm a life and small business coach specializing in authenticity. In this podcast, you'll hear my conversations with people who, in their own way, are choosing to be authentic. My goal with this podcast is to inspire you to be yourself confidently, to motivate you to take a chance on your ideas and dreams, and to provide you with a new perspective on how your unique qualities could be exactly what you've been looking for to create a life or business that inspires you and others. This is podcast season 2, episode 5, Authenticity and the Journey Towards Your Goals. This episode is going to be a little bit different in that I'm not having a conversation with someone today, but rather we're going to look at what it's really like to be on the journey, on the path towards your authentic self, towards your goals. So this is more of a reflection and to let you know that it's okay if you're noticing that your progression from point A to point B in this journey towards your goals and to your authentic self is not a straight line. There's dips in the road, there's setbacks, there's pauses, there's moments of doubt. So find a quiet place for yourself, gift yourself a few minutes to just sit and reflect, and let's look at what the journey is really like on your path, on your journey towards your authentic self. So I found that there are 6 components on this journey to our goals. Okay, the components are clarity, faith, surrender, resilience, trust, and achievement. Clarity. Clarity is the first component because it creates your target. You can't hit a target if it doesn't exist, or if you can't see it at all, or if you can't see it clearly. Clarity is the key. Clarity is the intention. Clarity is the reality that you wish to see. So, what do you want? Not what do you think is possible given your current circumstances, but rather what do you want despite your current circumstances, despite your current parameters. And if you're having trouble clarifying your goals, I can guarantee you that fear is what's getting in the way. So what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of what people would say if they see you showing up differently than they're used to? Are you afraid of what people will think of you if you fail? And ask yourself this simple question if you need a little help with your clarity. What would I attempt to do if I knew that I could not fail? Sit and think about that. If you're not clear on what you want, ask yourself the question. You can stand in front of the mirror, look yourself right in the eyes, and ask yourself, what would I attempt to do if I knew that I could not fail? Clarity. Now, the next 4 components are interwoven into each other. And that's why I call them components and not steps, because the path does not require you to go from one first and then the other, but rather you're going to find that you flow energetically, emotionally, and intellectually between these components. The next component is faith. Faith is not hoping that it does happen. Faith is knowing that it will happen. It's a resolve that says it's done in my mind, and so it's going to be done in the world. As Paulo Coelho said in his book, The Alchemist, and when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Or in Psalms 145, verse 13, it says, the Lord is faithful to all his promises and loving towards all he has made. So create a clear goal that you really, really want and have faith that you will achieve it. And that brings us to the next component, surrender. Surrender is where things can become scary. And because the universe works, the way the universe works is if you want something, ask for it. And if you have faith that it will happen, and if you put in the work, it will come to be. However, you have no say in how the universe will take you there. Your job is to conceive it, to believe it, and know that you'll receive it. But then you need to surrender control to the universe. You know, they say that life is like a roller coaster, and I think that we can agree with that. But I would add, it's not just any roller coaster. It's one of those indoor roller coasters that's in complete darkness. You see, on a regular roller coaster, as scary as it might be for some, you can still see when the drops and the turns are coming. But in those indoor roller coasters, the ones that are in complete darkness, you can't see what's coming. You may brace yourself trying to prepare yourself mentally, but without warning, you hit a drop. And that drop might not be as bad as you thought, but immediately following that one comes a really big drop. And it feels like your heart is going to leap out of your chest. And just when you're starting to get yourself together, there's a turn. And then you go into a loop that turns you upside down. And that leads to the next component, which is resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. Other ways to call resilience is toughness, the ability to bounce back, or roll with the punches. As the universe takes you through this journey towards your goal in an unexpected fashion, you'll need resilience to weather the tough times and the unexpected. Sometimes it's little things like a negative comment on social media, and other times it's big things like losing relationships or having a business completely fail. But your resilience is your proof to the universe that what you said you want, you really want. Because as with anything of great value, you're not going to appreciate it, care for it, nurture it, and defend it if you did not have to work hard towards it. But as with all tests, no matter how difficult, they don't last forever. And that brings us to the last of the 4 interwoven components, trust. When you're in the middle of this roller coaster in the darkness and you're being resilient, after a while the ups and downs can cause doubt. You may start to think, this is too difficult. I can't do this anymore. What's the point? If I'm struggling so much, then it must be a sign that this is not for me. But trust the process, because it is changing you into the person that you need to be for the goal that you asked for. Trust the journey because it's building your mental, emotional, and spiritual muscle for the goal that you asked for. Trust in the universe. Trust that it received your intention, and know that this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like when it rearranges the entirety of creation just for you to receive what you asked for. Trust that when you reach your goal and receive exactly what you asked from the universe or more, you will understand and see clearly why your journey was designed the way that it was. So trust the process and reset your mind as needed. And this is where you can see what I mean by these 4 components of the journey are interwoven into each other, and that you will flow between the 4 on your journey. Because if doubt sets in, or if you hit periods of mental or physical exhaustion, you may have to reaffirm your faith in yourself or in the universe, that what you ask for will come to you. You may realize that you're micromanaging your dreams by trying to control the process, by trying to control the journey, and so you have to surrender yourself again. You may need to shake off a slump or tap into your resilience again and remind yourself to trust the process. But that leads us into the last component, and the last component is the best one, achievement. Achievement is when it's yours, in this world, in your hands, in your life. Achievement is when what you ask for becomes your reality. If you've ever seen someone accomplish something meaningful to them, you know oftentimes that moment is filled with emotion. It could be receiving an award, completing a degree, landing a job you've always wanted, or leaving a career for a business that's finally taken off. But what's interesting, if you pay close attention, is that the achievement gives you a sense of accomplishment, but the overflow of emotion comes from reflecting on your journey. If you receive an award, for example, and you look at it on the shelf, you will look at it and feel a sense of accomplishment. But if you reflect on what you went through to receive that award, you'll become emotional. Because when you think about how you created your reality with a thought, had faith that it was going to happen, surrendered to the process, toughed out the difficult times, trusted that it was all for a reason, your mind says, this is incredible that all of this actually makes sense now in the end. And your heart says, I took a chance on what was within me and it didn't break me. I'm so much stronger than I realized. And when the mind and the heart get shocked simultaneously, it triggers the body to have emotional responses. So that's the journey towards achieving the goals that are authentic to you. And that's our episode. Take a few minutes for yourself, write down any ideas or emotions that came up, and share your goals in the comments below. If you found this episode to be of value to you, then hit like and subscribe and share with the people in your circle so you can support each other. Again, my name is Marco Benitez, also known as Coach Marco B, and I'm a life and small business coach specializing in authenticity. If you would like support or coaching for yourself or your business on how to be authentic so you can have less stress, serve others better, and make money doing what you love, then visit me on coachmarcob.com, and that's B like boy. Thank you for tuning into this podcast, and remember to mind your business, the business of being you.